Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spectacular Spider-Man Season 4, and in today's video this is Episode 5. If you have not seen the rest of the season, or if you are new around the channel, this is Season 4. Go back and watch Season 3 and then make your way to Season 4 to see the second part in the Carnage Venom storyline. With that being said, let's get straight into this. Season 4 Episode 5, Recuperation, Part 2. We kick off the episode where we left off in the last, Spider-Man face to face with Venom once again. Peter Parker and Eddie Brock, long-term rivals, once friends. Cletus will ask Eddie if he knows this man, and Eddie will say that he's a long-term friend and will laugh. Peter will say that this ends now as they engage in battle. We start this episode with a massive brawl between Venom, Carnage and Spider-Man. Venom was hard enough, but Carnage was on another level. He would not hold back and would have no remorse. Usually Spider-Man would have to hold back when fighting his villains, because if he didn't pull his punches, then he could potentially kill with the sheer force of his genetically enhanced powers. However, against villains such as Venom and Carnage, with the enhanced powers that the symbiote rage gives them, he could not hold back. He had to give this his all, or else they would both get the better of him. He had never moved so quick, he had never punched, kicked, or swung so hard in order to survive in his entire life. Carnage quickly tore his suit to shreds even more, with Venom aiding in the destruction. He had to get out of there. Peter looked for an escape, but every time he tried to, they would pull him straight back in. This fight would gather a lot of attention, as buildings and surrounding cars would be destroyed. Captain Stacy would arrive on the scene with the NYPD. Captain Stacy would shoot at Carnage, who held Spider-Man in his arm. And just as he was about to deliver the final blow to Spider-Man, Carnage felt bullets get absorbed into the suit. He turns and looks in Captain Stacy's direction and throws Spider-Man across the road. He picks Stacy up and creates an axe with his other hand as he laughs menacingly, before Venom shouts his way, saying that they need to focus on what's important and not to get distracted. This will moreover showcase the split ideologies between Venom and Carnage, showing Cletus' desire for destruction and chaos with no order. Venom's goals don't involve the destruction and loss of other life, but rather his goals only involve Spider-Man. Carnage begrudgingly agrees with Venom as they return to try and fight Spider-Man, but before they know it, he's gone. Before the police can enact any arrest on Venom or Carnage, they also move out to devise a new plan. We cut to Peter at the Parker household, who is beaten and bruised to the point of almost death. He collapses on his bed and falls asleep. Peter wakes up the next morning with a lot of his wounds cleared due to his increased healing factor. However, he is still very sore. We cut to Venom and Carnage devising a plan together on how they are going to take down Spider-Man. However, this conversation will also be a clash of personal interest too. Eddie, like Peter, has people that he cares for and has people that he loves. This scene will also show that Eddie's personality has almost bonded with the Venom suit in a symbiotic relationship in a similar way to how they have bonded physically. The Venom symbiote may have enhanced the rageful side of Eddie Brock, but the loving and caring side of Eddie has also influenced the symbiote's personality, and this will shine through here as well. On the other hand, Carnage is on the opposite spectrum to both of them and loves his new sense of power, wanting to cause outrage and chaos with it. Cletus and Carnage will be on exactly the same page. Venom will tell him that that's not his purpose. His purpose is to help him kill Spider-Man, and that is final, not to hurt innocent civilians. Carnage disagrees and asks Venom to try and stop him as he laughs. This turns into a brawl between the two of them, and Venom engages in battle with Carnage. At first, Venom will get the upper hand, managing to hold Carnage down with his experience. However, after a short while, Carnage will start to come out on top, as his sheer strength and power will seep through. Venom will be heavily injured. Carnage, before leaving, will say that Venom needs to lighten up a little, and will give a menacing grin as he escapes into the day. We cut to Dr. Kafka, who was doing some research looking back on the TV footage when Spider-Man fought both Venom and Carnage, and realizes that maybe Spider-Man will know a thing or two about where Eddie has gone. After some further research, she will come to discover that Peter Parker used to regularly take pictures of Spider-Man for the Daily Bugle. During school hours, Peter will be asked to go to the principal's office. As he leaves, both MJ and Gwen will glance his way, as if they are distracted by him. During this moment, Gwen will look over to MJ, and will notice this, and will raise an eyebrow, confused slightly. We will cut to Peter as he enters the principal's office, and the principal says that there is someone here that needs to speak with you very urgently. It turns out it's Dr. Kafka. Kafka explains the situation, and Peter remarks that he doesn't know why everyone would assume he knows Spider-Man just because he takes pictures of him, and Kafka says that she is desperate. She needs to know where Eddie is, so if she knows anything about Spider-Man or where he is or who he is, to help her. She says that she can break through to him, she can break through to Eddie Brock. Peter thinks to himself that Spider-Man and Kafka could be the key to maybe getting Eddie back. Peter reluctantly agrees to find Spider-Man, saying that he has some connection to him. Because Peter knows that he can't face Venom and Carnage alone. He needs something on his side. Spider-Man needs to rely on something other than his own strength and agility to get him through this battle. Peter leaves the office. We cut to the end of the school day as Peter leaves the building. Gwen walks up behind him as Peter slips on the hat that MJ had bought him for Christmas. She awkwardly taps him on the shoulder. Peter turns around and gulps. Gwen says that she just needs to talk. Peter says that's okay. She says she doesn't know why he's ignoring her. She says that maybe it was because he thought it was wrong because of what happened with Harry or something along those lines, but she thinks that it's something different. Peter asks, what does she think that is? And then Gwen says that she's going to be completely honest with him. She asks him if it's something to do with Mary Jane. Peter says, of course it isn't. Gwen is frustrated and shouts at Peter, asking, what is it then? Why has he been ignoring her? They were this close to getting together, and Gwen is just upset. They were friends, and they can't even be friends anymore. But why? Peter struggles to find the words. He says he can't tell her. He wishes he could, but he can't. And just before Peter could muster an excuse, MJ approaches the situation. She bounces in and links arms with Peter in a flirty manner, and says hi to both of them in an upbeat and positive way. MJ asks Peter if he's walking back to Aunt May's because she could walk with him. Gwen frowns, and a slight tear wells up in her eye. She says that he wished he just told her. She runs off home, and MJ looks bewildered as Peter looks on. She questions Peter as to what's going on. Peter says that it's nothing. MJ backs away slightly, not as intimate as before, and says that she wasn't aware. She says that she's sorry if she got in the way of anything. Peter says that you haven't, frantically trying to calm the situation down. And MJ says to Peter very calmly he needs to chase after her, as she walks off in the other direction, leaving Peter alone by himself. Peter places his face in his hands, remarking that nothing can ever go his way. And of course, at the center of it all is Spider-Man. MJ walks off home, wondering if she actually knew everything about Peter that she thought. She knows that he's Spider-Man. But what other secrets does he hold? Peter decides that he needs to take his mind off it. He switches into a makeshift Spider-Man suit that he has made since the other one got torn to shreds, and decides to go and meet Dr. Kafka. Once arriving on the scene, Dr. Kafka reveals all to Spider-Man, saying how she knew Eddie and Cletus, saying that Eddie especially was a really good man. She managed to break through to Eddie and managed to get him out of the mindset of rage and destruction. But now he's back. He has the symbiote again, and she believes that she can break through to him because they got really close. However, she doesn't believe that there is any hope for Cletus, which is what makes him so dangerous. But Eddie is a kind soul, and is misguided by the hurtful rage that the symbiote bestows upon him. The rest of the episode will be Spider-Man and Dr. Kafka working together to track down Venom and Carnage, and Venom trying to track down Carnage as he slowly realizes the severity of what he has let loose on the city. Eventually, Spider-Man and Dr. Kafka will come to blows with Carnage, as the destruction he starts to cause becomes apparent on the news. Spider-Man will get a call from Captain Stacy 2 informing him of the situation at hand. Spider-Man will arrive on the scene with Dr. Kafka as well. They both ask where Venom is, and Carnage says that he doesn't care about Venom. Spider-Man, knowing the severity of what Carnage can bring, tells Dr. Kafka to get out of there. It is not safe. But Kafka refuses, saying that she needs to break through to Venom. She needs to know where he is. Dr. Kafka, despite not believing in his recuperation, tries to also break through to Cletus in this moment as well, saying that he needs to stop this destruction. But Cletus is at one with the Carnage symbiote. They are forever bonded. And then out of nowhere, Venom arrives on the scene, tracking Carnage down as well. Spider-Man turns to Venom with a serious, stern look. Dr. Kafka reaches out to him and screams his name. Spider-Man telling Kafka once again not to go near him. This isn't the Eddie Brock that you once knew. Venom, however, isn't hostile to either of them. Rather turns his attention to Carnage, completely ignoring Spider-Man. He says that it was a mistake letting him loose on the city, and that Venom needs to destroy him at any cost. Once again, furthering the idea that Eddie and the symbiote have a mutual symbiotic relationship that bonds both of their personalities. Carnage says that they need to be taught a lesson. In life, there is chaos, there is destruction, and just like Spider-Man, he has become blind to the inevitable world that they live in. Carnage picks up Dr. Kafka and laughs. Venom roars out in anger as Carnage creates an axe with his other hand. Venom leaps at Carnage with rage. Since his spider sense can't detect the symbiotes, Spider-Man doesn't really realize the severity of the situation until it's too late. After a few moments, Peter also leaps at Carnage as well, trying to save Dr. Kafka, but it's too late, as Carnage delivers the final blow to her, killing her in front of Eddie and Peter. Carnage laughs as the Venom mask retracts from Eddie's face, as he holds the Doctor in his arms one last time. So that is it for episode 5. We are going to conclude the symbiote story in episode 6. But I want to let you guys know that we are on a mid-season break now. So over the next couple of Sundays, there will be different fan fictions, including a TASM 3 fanfiction, which should be coming in the next couple of weeks. So if you are enjoying this series, make sure you're subscribed so you are here and you can get notified when the series comes back in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.